So, before we get too far into January, I wanted to talk about my games of 2023. And yes, all these games are not from 2023. These are just the top five favorites that I have that I played in 2023. And number five, State of Decay 2. I love this game. I love it because it fulfills my need to just endlessly loot. And also, you're looting for stuff that you're going to use. I love it because I like the community management aspect, fun gameplay, a little jank, but sometimes the jank is really fun. But what I really enjoy about this game is the constant updates, not, all every, month or whatever, but updates that kind of rejuvenate the experience and expand it. And in 2023, they gave us an update for the game. They added in the curveballs, and that added a new dynamic to the game. They were like limited time. They were like more limited time experiences that just happen throughout the game, and they change what's going on. Like sometimes it'll. I remember one time it was like exploding zombies. Um, there's one that's one of the plague hearts, which are like the little plague hub things. Um, it's not only it expands its area of control. Stop. And while it's doing that in its area of control, you cannot drive vehicles because the fuel drains. It took me forever to figure that out because I do not read like what's going on. So I kept driving cars in there and then having to leave them and run off on foot. And it changed the way I was playing because I was gradually increasing the difficulty, and I started playing, um, continuing my community with the curveballs, and the difficulty was just very. It added a whole new challenge for me. But yes, State of Decay 2, um, highly recommend if you're into that sort of thing. My number four game is Beacon Pines. It's a anthropomorphic narrative adventure. The story is very, very engaging. One of the better stories that I've experienced, especially last year. I tend to not always play story heavy games, especially if they involve shooting and stabbing and stuff like that. Then I really tend to um, let the story take a backseat to the gameplay. But this was just a narrative adventure. Um, I recommend it to cozy gamers. Um, it's a very short game. I recommend it to people that are maybe just trying to get um, trophies and achievements, uh, because it's easy to get them all. I didn't actually have to do anything out of the norm that how I play a game to even get all of them. So yeah, I just really recommend this game. It's really enjoyable. Love the characters. Loved everything about it. Yeah, you should give it a go. At number three, we have Weird West. So Weird West is amazing. Um, it's a Weird West game, which is like a weird fusion of like Western, supernatural, sci-fi. Um, the game is like an RPG where you go through a cast of characters and you play each one of their story, and their stories kind of intersect, and there's a lot of mystery. The gameplay is itself is very open in how you can approach things. This game is really interesting, and the other reason it makes this list of top games I played last year is because it got me to play a way that I don't normally play. I normally am not a stealth player, but the stealth in this game was insanely fun. It was just really captivating for me to just play this entire game stealth. Um, yeah, so the story, the world, the gameplay. It's an isometric game, so especially if you're really into isometric games, I would highly recommend it. Um, and it was just a wonderful experience. My number two game is Planet of Lana. So this game is like a little platform puzzle adventure. The world is beautiful. The story is very visual, which I also really appreciate when a game can tell you a very visual story without like without the need for like dialogue and that sort of thing. Ow. But this game is really interesting because my controller broke halfway through it, and so I still have to go back and complete it. But you know, I probably I don't know if I was halfway. I feel like I was a little more than halfway because of some objects I found in the game, and they had like a number out of how many. So and based on that, I feel like I was pretty far through the game. But yeah, loved everything about this game. This is also another short game, little game. Um, but I highly recommend it if you have not given it a try. Go ahead and play it. And my number one game. This is not really a shocker. I have said a million times I love space. So Starfield, it's very suiting. I I'm never going to be an astronaut. I'm never actually going to go to other planets and get to pick up rocks and put them in my pocket. But that is a dream for me. And I really enjoyed doing a lot of that in Starfield. A lot of what I was doing was just taking pictures and collecting rocks and going to various planets and checking out the different gravity, the different um, sunrises, the different sunsets. Just experiencing the various solar systems that they have or star systems. Um, yeah, and I just had so much fun with that. I mean, the gameplay, I enjoy that as well. Um, but I think just how much I love space and how much about the world, um, the space aspects of it that I enjoyed, which was just going to planets and looking around and collecting rocks. I also this game had a reference to one of my favorite children's books, Ten Apples Up on Top. Um, and I really appreciate that someone else understands how amazing that book is. Um, but yeah, so this was my number one game. There are plenty of other games that I played that they didn't quite make the list, but they're definitely games that I enjoyed. Um, so yeah, what are yours?